Part 1, Ghosts of the Singularity ***. The creaking airlock door sounded like a thousand-year-old house sighing as it welcomed me into the derelict freighter. The Odysseus, a ship once majestic, now floated aimlessly in the gravitational pull of a massive cosmic anomaly, a sight that stopped my heart as I glimpsed it from the viewport. The swirling maelstrom of lights, colors, and shadows resembled an artist's fevered dream gone haywire, a gravitational rift known only as the Singularity. I stepped inside, a chill biting through my insulated suit like the cold hands of a ghost. The lights flickered sporadically, casting eerie shadows on the bulkheads that danced to a rhythm only the ship knew. It occurred to me that calling this place eerie was the understatement of the century. "Ewan," I rasped into my comm, hoping for a response from my navigator back on the Helios, my rusty but reliable frigate. "You getting this?" The crackle of interference buzzed before Ewan's voice filtered through, laced with the usual dry wit. "Copy, Captain. You're not dead yet, so that's a plus. Try not to fall in love with any space zombies." "Very funny," I grumbled, trying not to let the emptiness seep into my bones. "Stay sharp. We don't know what spooked the crew to abandon ship." The Odysseus was a behemoth, a cargo freighter designed for long-haul journeys through the galaxy's more unpredictable neighborhoods. Yet here she was, empty, adrift, and if my suspicions were correct, not entirely uninhabited. Part of me hoped it was just malfunctions and madness, a story of a crew driven to abyssal depths by the void and their own failing minds. But of course, we're not that lucky. As I navigated the tight corridors, my flashlight swept across walls peppered with cryptic symbols and hastily scrawled warnings. "Beware, don't trust, it sees you," creepy enough to make my skin crawl but not informative enough to help. A clang reverberated, metallic and distant. I froze, every nerve electrified, my senses strained against the silence. Friendly ghosts or something worse. I followed the sound, past the mess hall frozen in a macabre tableau, utensils abandoned mid-meal, chairs overturned. The only thing missing from this horror scene was the crew. The clang repeated, louder, closer, like a heartbeat echoing through the ship's arteries. It lured me to the cargo bay, where rows of suspended containers loomed like tombstones in an alien graveyard. In the center of the bay stood a creature, unlike anything I'd imagined. It was tall, crystalline, its body refracting light into a spectrum that dazzled the eyes. It moved with unsettling grace, as if gliding through a dimension its feet barely touched. "Ewan," I whispered, adrenaline spiking. "We've got company, non-human. I'm attempting contact." "Keep it diplomatic, Captain. No need to start a space war," Ewan replied with a chuckle that did little to ease my tension. I took a step forward, raising my hands in what I hoped was a universal gesture of peace. "Hello there," I said, voice steady despite the rapid drumbeat in my chest. "I'm Captain Lex Mortensen. Can you understand me?" The creature tilted its head, and for a moment I feared my words had drifted into the ether unheard. But then it spoke, its voice resonating in my mind rather than my ears, a symphony of tones that coalesced into meaning. "I am Eder, harbinger of the Singularity," it declared, its speech a kaleidoscope of colors and sounds. "This vessel is not yours to claim." I blinked, caught between awe and incredulity. "I'm not here to claim anything, Eder, just looking for answers." "Answers lie in the heart of the Singularity," Eder replied, its crystalline form shimmering with each word. "But be warned, not all who seek them survive." The air thickened with tension, the weight of Eder's warning settling heavily on me. I felt like a gambler on the edge of a bet, stakes higher than I dared calculate. Fate, it seemed, had dealt me a hand full of mysteries, each more insidious than the last. I had a choice: retreat to the Helios and report back, or venture deeper, risking both crew and sanity for truths that might unravel more than just my mission. The quip about space zombies didn't seem so funny anymore. Captain, Ewan's voice crackled with concern. What's the plan? I took a breath, steadying myself. We're going in, Ewan. Fire up the engines. We're going to make friends with the ghosts and dance with the singularity. Roger that, he replied, his tone a mix of disbelief and respect. You're either a genius or completely insane, Lex. Let's hope it's the former, I muttered as I turned back to Eder. Lead the way, Harbinger. Let's see where this rabbit hole ends. In that luminal space between fear and fascination, I knew one thing. Whatever lay within the singularity, it was far more than I'd bargained for. And the dance had only just begun. Part 2: Into the Abyss. The Helios hummed with cautious anticipation as we approached the singularity, its engines pulsating with a symphony of mechanical heartbeats. Ewan's fingers danced over the controls, his genial facade concealing the focus of a seasoned navigator. The man was unflappable, which was precisely why I kept him around. Well, that and his ability to make a half-decent cup of coffee in zero gravity. Eder occupied the helm beside me, its crystalline form casting prismatic shadows across the console. Throughout our journey, it remained silent, a taciturn guardian ushering us toward the singularity's maw. I could feel its thoughts brushing against mine, an unspoken dialogue simmering beneath the surface. You think this is really going to work? Ewan asked, eyes fixed on the spectral dance of the cosmic anomaly. Venturing into something not even the brightest minds can understand. I shrugged, masking my own uncertainty with bravado. Only one way to find out. Besides, what's life without a little risk? Oh sure, I love risks, he quipped. Especially the kind that involves possible disintegration or being tossed into a parallel universe. Focus, Ewan, I said, unable to suppress a grin. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We've got a legendary mystery to solve first. As we breached the outer edges of the singularity, the view transformed into a kaleidoscope of swirling luminescence, time and space warping around us in a breathtaking display of cosmic ambition. The Helios shuddered, its hull groaning in protest as we plunged deeper into the eye of the unknown. Eder raised a luminescent limb, a gesture that seemed both alien and reassuring. The singularity is not an enemy, it intoned, its voice harmonic and ethereal. Think of it as a gatekeeper. A gatekeeper to what? I asked, wrestling with the dual sensations of dread and wonder. To knowledge and possibility, Eder replied. Beyond, you will find the truth and perhaps yourselves. Before I could press further, the Helios jarred violently, the ship pitching as if caught in an invisible undertow. Warning lights blazed across the console, and I could feel my stomach lurch alongside the vessel. Hold on, Ewan shouted, his hands racing over the controls, coaxing the frigate through the turbulence. The air inside the cabin crackled with tension, tinged with the scent of ozone and fear. The Helios pierced through the chaotic tempest, emerging into a vast, ethereal space, a pocket universe suspended within the singularity. Here, the rules of reality were drawn by the hand of a divine artist, celestial bodies clustered like jewels, woven together by threads of cosmic energy. Eder gestured outward, its crystalline form glowing with radiant intent. Behold the nexus, it announced, a convergence of worlds where paths cross and destinies intertwine. The nexus, a legendary convergence rumored by scholars and mystics, a place where the laws of physics were whispered suggestions rather than immutable commandments. Ewan exhaled a low whistle, awe apparent in his usually cynical eyes. Not exactly the scenic route I'd choose, but it's got style. I chuckled, though a knot of anxiety tightened in my chest. Just keep us steady, Ewan. This place feels like it's ready to rewrite the rulebook on a whim. As we navigated the labyrinthine expanse, I noticed another vessel adrift, a sleek, obsidian craft unlike any I'd encountered. Its design was enigmatic, a seamless blend of elegance and menace that suggested its origins were anything but human. Eder shifted beside me, its demeanor subtly altered. "That ship belongs to the Cathar," it conveyed, an edge of caution in its tone. "A race of explorers and conquerors with intentions often as inscrutable as their technology." The Cathar. I'd heard tales of them, a civilization of cunning intellect and formidable prowess, with a penchant for meddling in affairs beyond their own dimension. "Great," Ewan muttered, his voice low. "More players in this cosmic chess game." "They may be allies or adversaries," Eder said, its crystalline facets reflecting a spectrum of possibilities. "Approach with care." As we closed the distance, the obsidian ship sprang to life, its surface rippling with energy like a dark sea in storm. A transmission crackled through, a voice laced with silky authority. "Unknown vessel, you are trespassing in Cathar territory," the voice commanded. "State your purpose or be prepared to face the consequences." I leaned into the calm, my mind racing to formulate a response that wouldn't result in immediate incineration. "We're explorers like yourselves," I said, aiming for diplomacy. "We mean no harm. We seek knowledge and perhaps common ground." There was a pause, the silence stretching with the weight of 1,000 unspoken words. Finally, the voice returned, tinged with reluctant curiosity. "Then proceed, human, but tread lightly, for the nexus is not Kai. ND to those who take without giving." Relief washed over me, tempered by the undertow of newfound challenges. We were now players in a grand cosmic narrative, the pages unwritten, the ending uncertain. As we ventured deeper into the nexus, I realized the journey was about more than the destination. It was about discovering the truths within ourselves, navigating a course through an intricately woven tapestry of mystery and revelation. Ewan caught my eye, a faint smile tugging at his lips. "You know, Captain, I think we might actually pull this off." "That's the spirit," I replied, returning his grin with one of my own. "Besides, we have a cosmic gatekeeper and a possible alliance with an interdimensional race. What could go wrong?" The irony wasn't lost on us, a shared laugh easing the tension just as the Helios glided past a magnificent nebula, its vibrant tendrils weaving through the fabric of space. It was a reminder of the beauty amidst the chaos, the potential for discovery even in the heart of the unknown. With Eder as our guide and the Singularity as our backdrop, we pressed onward into the abyss, the story of the Nexus unfurling before us with each passing moment. The adventure was just beginning, and with it, the promise of answers, alliances, and revelations we'd barely dared to dream. Part 3: Veils of the Unknown Asterisk. The Nexus unfurled around us like an ancient tapestry, threads of deep space woven with cosmic secrets and whispered destinies. We drifted through its vast expanse, the Helios dwarfed by the colossal wonders that loomed on all sides. Each celestial marvel seemed to pulse with latent energy, a silent witness to eons of untold stories. "Ewan, keep an eye on those readings," I instructed, the air thick with anticipation. "This place might be beautiful, but it's also inherently unpredictable." "Aye, Captain," he responded, eyes glued to the console. "The energy fluctuations here could power half the known galaxy. Just try not to fall in love with anything that'll eat us." Falling in love with dangerous things is my specialty, I quipped, attempting to mask my own nerves with humor. Keeps life interesting. Eder, our luminous guide, stood motionless, its crystalline form a beacon of calm amidst chaos. The Nexus holds many truths, it intoned, voice echoing through my mind. But the journey to understanding is fraught with layers. Layers, the word resonated, a reminder of both the depth of our quest and the complexities of the unfolding enigma. As if sensing my thoughts, Eder gestured toward a distant structure, its silhouette etched against the backdrop of a swirling nebula. There lies the archive, Eder announced, its tone imbued with reverence. A repository of knowledge left by those who came before. The archive was unlike anything I'd ever seen, a sprawling megastructure, its spires reaching toward infinity like the fingers of a giant's hand. It shimmered with the eerie glow of technologies beyond reckoning, inviting yet foreboding. The Cathar vessel is heading that way too, Ewan observed, his voice tinged with both curiosity and caution. Looks like we're not the only ones interested in a history lesson. Let's hope they're feeling cooperative, I replied, steering the Helios toward the archive. As we closed the distance, a jolt of excitement quivered through me. Here perhaps lay the answers we'd sought, the revelations that could redefine our understanding of the universe. The Helios settled into dock, the airlock sealing with a satisfying hiss. As we stepped aboard, I was struck by the archive's scale and majesty. Intricate glyphs adorned the walls, their meanings just beyond my grasp, while shafts of light pierced the space like ethereal sentinels. Standing amidst the vast hall was a Cathar envoy, its presence both enigmatic and imposing. The envoy's sleek armor gleamed, its eyes aglow with an intelligence that seemed to penetrate the very fabric of the archive. "Greetings, human," the envoy spoke, its voice smooth and resonant. "I am Thalathon, you seek knowledge as do we." "Captain Lex Mortensen," I replied, nodding in acknowledgement, "and this is my crew." I gestured to Ewan, who grinned with his trademark blend of insolence and charm. "We're here to learn, to understand what the Nexus truly is." Thalathon inclined its head, a gesture of assent. "The Nexus is a convergence of possibilities," it explained. "A bridge across realities where timelines intersect and histories converge." The words hung in the air, heavy with implication. It was a concept both thrilling and daunting, the thought of myriad realities overlapping in a cosmic ballet. Eder moved forward, its crystalline form shimmering. "The archive holds echoes of these realities," it said, "traces of those who have passed through the Nexus." As if in response, the archive seemed to pulse with life, its glyphs illuminating with a radiant glow. Information flowed around us, a river of history and insight, unveiling snippets of civilizations long vanished and events lost to time. Thalathon gestured to a central dais, its surface covered with intricate patterns. "This is the heart of memories," it explained. "A focal point within the archive where the past is remembered and the present understood." I approached the dais, an odd sense of familiarity tugging at my consciousness. Placing my hand upon its surface, I felt a surge of connection, a bridge forming between the archive and my mind. Visions cascaded before me, worlds in bloom, civilizations rising and falling, a tapestry of existence woven with threads of shared destiny. I saw myself, a thousand variations across infinite worlds, each path a divergence of choice and chance. "That's quite the trip," Ewan remarked, his eyes wide with wonder as he joined me at the dais. "Feels like every what-if I've ever wondered is happening all at once." "There's power in understanding," Eder said, its voice like the chime of distant bells. "But with knowledge comes responsibility." A shadow fell across the light, an unsettling presence creeping into the periphery of my awareness. The dais flickered, its images shifting erratically, as if something unseen prowled the fringes of the archive. Thalathon tensed its stance wary. Ray not alone, it warned, its gaze scanning the vast hall. The Nexus is not without its guardians. In that moment the air seemed to crackle with unseen energy, a shimmer of movement at the edge of sight. Forms coalesced from the ether, spectral figures draped in shadow and light. Entities known as the Veil Walkers, beings that existed between the layers of reality, their motives as enigmatic as their forms. Guardians of the Nexus, or perhaps remnants of those who had come to understand it too well. "Stand ready," I instructed, my voice steady despite the rising tension. "We came for answers, not conflict." The Veil Walkers hovered, their presence both tangible and ethereal. They issued no threat, though their gaze pierced through us, as if weighing our intentions against the collective memory of the archive. In the charged silence, Eder stepped forward, its form a beacon of light. "We seek understanding," it declared, its voice resonant with purpose, "and we honor the sanctity of the Nexus." The Veil Walkers paused, their forms flickering like candle flames in a breeze. Then, with deliberate grace, they parted, allowing us passage through the hall. A collective sigh of relief rippled through our group, the moment of potential conflict dissipating into an unspoken accord. As we moved deeper into the archive, I realized that the journey was about more than uncovering secrets. It was about forging connections, understanding the threads of existence that bound us all together. With Eder and Thalathon at our side, we continued our exploration of the archive, eager to unravel the mysteries of the Nexus and discover the truths that lay hidden within its veils. Part 4: Echoes of Destiny. The air within the archive hummed with a resonance that seemed to vibrate through my very bones, a sonorous chorus of memories and untold stories. As we delved deeper, the atmosphere grew more charged, each step unfolding layers of existence like the turning pages of a cosmic tome. Eder glided alongside, a radiant guide amidst the spectral glow of the archive's glyphs. "The Nexus is more than a repository of worlds," it mused, voice a blend of harmony and dissonance. "It is a vessel of potential where the echoes of destiny converge." "You're telling me this place is alive?" Ewan asked, his eyebrows arched in skeptical curiosity. "In a manner of speaking," Eder replied, its form shifting in luminescent patterns. "The Nexus responds to the intentions of those who seek its knowledge. It is both creator and creation." The thought was both exhilarating and unnerving. Here was a place where the boundaries between past, present, and future blurred, where the intentions of visitors could imprint upon the fabric of reality itself. Thalathon, the enigmatic Cathar envoy, remained a silent observer, its gaze inscrutable as we navigated the archive's labyrinthine halls. I couldn't shake the feeling that the Cathar knew more about this place than they let on, a sentiment that tugged at the edges of my mind like a persistent itch. As we approached a grand chamber, its ceiling vaulted high above us. A sense of anticipation crackled in the air. This place seemed to pulse with a grandeur that whispered of ancient power, a hub of converging energies that felt almost sentient. Eder paused before an intricate mural, its surface alive with shifting light and shadow. "This is the weave of ages," it explained, gesturing to the tapestry of images that flowed like liquid light, a chronicle of the Nexus's influence upon the cosmos. The mural was a breathtaking display of artistry and depth, depicting scenes of worlds birthed in stellar fire and civilizations rising from the dust of forgotten stars. In its intricate patterns, I glimpsed stories of hope and despair, triumph and tragedy, each image a fragment of a larger narrative. "Look there," Ewan said, pointing to a section where the mural seemed to shift and change, its scenes fluid and dynamic. "That's us, isn't it?" The realization hit me like a tidal wave. Within the weave, I saw our journey, the Helios traversing the swirling void of the Singularity, Eder guiding us through the mysteries of the Nexus. Our actions were part of this cosmic tapestry, each decision a thread woven into the grand design. As I stood, transfixed by the unfolding story, a sudden ripple coursed through the chamber, a tremor that seemed to emanate from the depths of the archive itself. The air grew charged, crackling with an energy that set my instincts on edge. "Something's coming," I said, eyes scanning the shadows for the source of the disturbance. "Stay alert." The ground beneath us quivered, the vibrations growing stronger, more insistent. It was as if the Nexus itself was awakening, responding to an unseen force that stirred its slumbering essence. Thalathun's stance shifted, an air of readiness about it. "The Nexus is reacting," it announced, voice steady yet tinged with urgency. "We must attune ourselves to its will or risk being overwhelmed." Ewan cast me a sidelong glance, his customary humor tempered by an undertone of concern. "No pressure, right, Captain?" "None at all," I replied, summoning a confidence I wasn't entirely sure I felt. "We've come this far, and we're not turning back now." Eder stepped forward, its crystalline form radiant with purpose. "Focus your intentions," it advised, its voice a soothing balm against the rising storm. "The Nexus responds to will and intent. Harmonize with its energy, and you will find your path." Taking a deep breath, I centered myself, reaching out with my senses to the roiling energy that filled the chamber. It was a strange sensation, like trying to touch the wind or grasp the essence of a dream. The weave shimmered, its images flickering, as if the very fabric of reality was in flux. I felt a connection, a sense of unity with the Nexus and the stories it held. The energy swirled around us, a symphony of potential awaiting our direction. Gradually, the tremors subsided, the tension in the air easing as the Nexus settled into a gentle hum. We had attuned ourselves to its rhythm, our intentions harmonizing with the cosmic pulse that bound worlds and destinies together. Thalathun inclined its head, a gesture of respect. "You have touched the heart of the Nexus," it observed. "Few have done so and emerged unscathed." "We're still in one piece," Ewan said, his grin returning as the immediate danger passed. "And with a story or two to tell." I nodded, my mind awash with the possibilities that lay before us. The Nexus had opened its doors, inviting us to explore its myriad mysteries and unearth truths that lay hidden within its depths. As we prepared to continue our journey, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were on the cusp of something monumental, a revelation that would reshape our understanding of the universe and our place within it. The path ahead was uncertain, fraught with challenges and discoveries yet to come. But with Eder, Thalathun, and Ewan at my side, I felt ready to face whatever lay beyond the veils of the unknown. With renewed purpose, we pressed onward, the echoes of destiny guiding our steps as we delved deeper into the heart of the Nexus, where the past, present, and future intertwined in an intricate dance of possibility. Part 5: The Lure of Infinity. The Nexus, with its vast corridors and chambers, seemed alive with a quiet luminescence as we ventured further into its heart. Each step echoed softly around us, a reminder of the silence that pervaded this place of boundless knowledge and mystery. The air itself felt thick with potential, as if every molecule contained a whisper of secrets waiting to be told. Eder glided ahead, its crystalline form casting prismatic reflections that danced across the walls, guiding our path through the labyrinthine expanse. "The Nexus draws you close," it conveyed, a knowing cadence lacing its voice. "It recognizes the thirst within you for understanding." "Great," Ewan murmured, half to himself. "I just hope it doesn't decide to swallow us whole." "Keep those thoughts to yourself," I replied, unable to suppress a smile. Even amidst the grandeur and gravity of our quest, Ewan's levity remained a constant, a grounding force against the unknown. Thalathun, our Cathar ally, moved with fluid grace, its presence a watchful sentinel at our flank. "The Nexus holds many layers," it remarked, its words deliberate and weighted. "But remember, not every path leads to enlightenment." The caution in its tone was not lost on me. This place, for all its wonders, was fraught with perils unseen, a labyrinth where a wrong turn could have unforeseen consequences. Before us lay a portal of shimmering light, its edges pulsating with a rhythm that matched the beating of my heart. It wasn't clear where it led, but an inexplicable pull urged us forward, a promise of discovery and revelation on the other side. "We're going through, aren't we?" Ewan asked, his voice tinged with excitement and apprehension. "Yeah," I nodded, feeling the weight of decision settle over me. We didn't come all this way to turn back now. Together we stepped through, the light enveloping us in its radiant embrace. A momentary disorientation gripped me, a sensation of being unmoored from time and space, before we emerged into a realm that defied my every expectation. We stood within a vast, open expanse, its skies ablaze with the auroras of 1,000 worlds. Floating islands drifted serenely through a horizonless sky, each teeming with the flora and fauna of alien ecosystems, a juxtaposition of nature and phenomena. "This is unreal," Ewan marveled, his eyes wide with wonder. "It's like we've wandered into a dream." "Not just a dream," Thalathun corrected, its gaze sweeping the vista with a scholar's appreciation. "This is the forge of divergence, where futures are shaped and destinies forged." The forge, a place of creation and possibility, where the raw materials of fate were hammered into the paths we walked. I felt the weight of that truth settle over me, mingling awe with a touch of trepidation. Eder gestured to the islands, each a microcosm of life and energy. "Every choice made, every path taken, it all begins here," it explained. "The Nexus reveals the infinite permutations of existence." As we moved through this extraordinary landscape, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched, a subtle presence just beyond the periphery of perception. The sensation was both comforting and unnerving, like the embrace of an old friend whose intentions you couldn't quite discern. Our exploration led us to a clearing on one of the islands, its heart dominated by a pool of liquid crystal that shimmered with internal light. The surface rippled with colors that seemed to speak of history and hope, a living repository of dreams. "This is the Heart Spire," Eder announced, its voice a gentle echo within the expansive silence. "Within, the nexus between thought and reality grows strongest." I knelt beside the pool, feeling its warmth radiate through the air. As I gazed into its depths, images began to form, not reflections, but possibilities, the myriad paths that lay before us, each a potential chapter in our unfolding story. The future felt tangible, each decision a stone cast into the waters of time, its ripples shaping what lay ahead. It was a realization both humbling and empowering. Ewan crouched beside me, his eyes fixed on the shifting visions. "Can you see it too, Lex? It's showing us what could be." "Yeah," I replied, my voice hushed with reverence. "Every choice we make matters more than we realize." In that moment, I understood that the Forge of Divergence was more than a realm of possibilities. It was a reminder of our agency and impact, a prompt to consider the broader consequences of our actions. As we stood together in contemplation, the air seemed to shimmer, a gentle disturbance that heralded the arrival of another. From shadows materialized a figure, graceful and ethereal, its form a cascade of starlight and shadow, a keeper of this place, or perhaps a guardian. "I am Valses," the figure introduced itself, its voice a melodic hum that resonated in the air. "Welcome to the Forge, Seek. Urs of Truth." Valses radiated an aura of ancient wisdom, its presence both commanding and serene. I sensed that it held the answers we sought, a key to unlocking the deeper mysteries of the Nexus. "We've come to understand the Nexus," I said, meeting Valses's gaze, "to learn why it calls to us and what it means for our world." Valses inclined its head, a gesture entwined with both acknowledgement and challenge. "The Nexus is a mirror," it replied, "reflecting the soul of those who gaze into its depths. To understand its secrets, you must first understand yourselves." The truth of those words resonated within me, sparking a determination to delve deeper, to confront the questions that had brought us here. With Eder and Thalathon by my side, and Valses as our guide, we prepared to navigate the Forge's intricate web of possibilities, each step a journey towards self-discovery and cosmic understanding. As we ventured forward, the echo of destiny lingered in the air, a reminder that our story was a thread woven into the larger tapestry of the universe, and the choices we made here would ripple across the spectrum of infinity. Part 6: Fractures and Fusions. The Forge of Divergence breathed beneath our feet, a living entity in its own right. Each floating island seemed to pulse with the heartbeat of potential futures, paths unseen but deeply felt. Here, we were architects of our own destinies, sculptors wielding the chisel of choice to carve our marks upon the cosmic canvas. Eder, ethereal and enigmatic, glided beside us, its presence a comforting constant amidst the surreal. "The Forge responds to your inner truths," it conveyed, its voice a gentle susurration in my mind. "Venture with openness, and it shall reveal its secrets." It was easier said than done, of course. Opening oneself to the unknown required more than courage. It demanded introspection. I could sense Ewan's trepidation beside me, his usual levity tempered by the gravity of our surroundings. "You ever get the feeling this place is way above our pay grade?" he murmured, a wry grin tugging at the corners of his mouth despite the solemnity. "Every second," I replied, appreciating his ability to lighten even the heaviest of moments. "But that's what makes it worth exploring. Besides, who else gets to say they walked through a dreamscape and came out the other side?" Thalathon, our ever-composed Cathar ally, remained a silent sentinel, its gaze sweeping the vistas with an intensity that belied its calm demeanor. "The Forge is both an opportunity and a crucible," it remarked. "What you discover here may challenge you in ways unimaginable." The prospect was daunting, yet exhilarating. Here lay the chance to transcend, to glimpse the facets of reality that stretched beyond human understanding. Valses, the luminescent guardian of the Forge, led us toward a nexus of paths, its form a soft silhouette against the celestial backdrop. "Before you lie the paths of reflection," it explained, gesturing to the shimmering trails that flowed outward like rivers of light. "Each path an exploration of self, each journey a revelation." I considered the choices before us, a kaleidoscope of potential futures branching in every direction. There was a weight to the decision, an awareness that the path I chose would reveal truths I might not yet be ready to face. Ewan gave me a sidelong glance, his expression a mix of curiosity and camaraderie. "Guess it's time to find out what makes us tick, huh?" "Yeah," I nodded, steeling myself with determination. "Let's see what the forge has in store for us." With Eddar's guidance, I stepped onto one of the illuminated paths, the light enveloping me in warmth as the world shifted around us. The transition was seamless, like stepping through a threshold into another realm where the boundaries of reality blurred and merged. We found ourselves in a landscape that defied conventional logic, a fusion of elements and forms, where trees grew from clouds and rivers flowed through the sky. It was a place where the essence of dreams mingled with the echoes of memory. Here I saw fragments of my past, interwoven with glimpses of what might yet come. My childhood, the trials and triumphs that had shaped my journey, the faces of those I had loved and lost, all laid bare beneath the forge's unerring gaze. Ewan appeared beside me, his own reflections dancing in the air. He studied them with a mix of wonder and apprehension, as if seeing himself through new eyes. "It's like everything we are, everything we could be, all here at once." Valses watched with an air of gentle wisdom, its presence a reminder of the forge's purpose. "The paths of reflection reveal not just what is, but what might be," it affirmed. "To understand the nexus, you must first understand yourselves." The truth of those words resonated deeply, and I felt a newfound clarity settle over me. This journey was as much about self-discovery as it was about exploring the cosmic mysteries that surrounded us. As we continued along the path, I noticed subtle changes in the landscape, moments of doubt and fear giving way to hope and possibility. It was a dance of contrasts, a reminder of the duality that defined existence. Yet even amidst this introspective journey, a distant tremor reverberated through the air, a disturbance that prickled at the edges of perception. It was a reminder that the nexus, for all its wonders, was not a place of static peace. Thalathun's gaze sharpened, a flicker of tension in its posture. "The nexus is not immune to disruption," it cautioned. "Something stirs within its depths." The tremor grew stronger, a palpable energy that crackled through the air. I felt it resonate in my bones, a call to action that demanded our attention. "We need to find the source," I said, my voice steady despite the rising tension. "We came here for answers, and we won't turn back now." With renewed purpose, we pressed forward, navigating the shifting landscapes of the forge with Eddar and Valses at our side. Each step was a journey deeper into the heart of the nexus, where the threads of fate wove together in an intricate dance. As we moved closer to the disturbance, I felt the weight of our decisions take on a new significance. The forge had shown us fragments of our potential, and now it was up to us to shape the future that lay ahead. Unified in purpose, we ventured into the unknown, ready to confront whatever lay beyond the fractures and fusions of the nexus. It was a journey of discovery and destiny, where the echoes of infinity awaited, and our story continued to unfold with each step we took. Part 7: Resonance of Shadows. The Forge of Divergence had shown us glimpses of ourselves, intertwining past and potential in an ethereal dance. But as we moved deeper into its heart, the disturbances that reverberated through the very fabric of the nexus drew us with an urgency that left little room for reflection. Eddar's crystalline form shimmered beside us, its presence an anchor amidst the swirling energies. Each step forward seemed to pulse with purpose, the path beneath our feet resonating with a rhythm that mirrored the beating of our hearts. "The nexus is alive with change," Eddar mused, a note of curiosity threading its voice. "Yet some changes bring discord rather than harmony." Thalathun moved with a measured grace, its gaze scanning the horizon for any hint of the disruption that rippled through the air. "The nexus exists between order and chaos," it remarked. "It is both cradle and crucible." Ewan's expression was one of focused determination, his usual humor subdued by the gravity of the situation. "Whatever's causing this, we'll find it," he said, a flicker of resolve igniting his eyes. "We've faced worse odds." There was a comfort in his confidence, a reminder that we were not alone in our quest. Together, we pressed onward, navigating the shifting landscapes with a shared sense of purpose. As we traversed the ethereal terrain, the air seemed to grow denser, charged with an energy that prickled at the edges of my awareness. The disturbances became more frequent, their echoes vibrating through the very ground beneath us. It was then that we came upon a grotto nestled within the heart of the forge, a cavern carved from the very essence of the nexus. Within, the air shimmered with a mysterious light, casting elongated shadows that danced upon the walls. Valses, the guardian of this realm, regarded the grotto with a solemn air. "This is the chamber of echoes," it revealed, its voice a gentle melody. "A place where the past resonates with the present." The chamber felt both inviting and foreboding, a nexus within the nexus where the echoes of history lingered. I sensed that whatever was causing the disturbance lay within, hidden beneath layers of time and memory. Stepping inside, I was enveloped by the glow of the chamber, the light cradling us in a cocoon of warmth. The air was thick with the voices of the past, whispers that seemed to brush against my consciousness like a soft breeze. Images flickered before me, glimpses of events long forgotten. I saw civilizations rising and falling, moments of triumph and tragedy captured in fleeting tableaus. The echoes of the past were powerful here, their resonance shaping the present in ways unseen. Ewan joined me at the center of the chamber, his eyes wide with awe. "It's like walking through a hall of memories," he mused, his voice barely above a whisper. "So much history, so many stories." "The nexus carries the weight of its own existence," Thalathon observed, its gaze intent upon the shifting visions. "It is a repository of all that has been and all that might yet be." Etter's form glowed with a serene luminescence, its presence a stabilizing force amidst the cacophony of echoes. "To understand the disturbance, we must listen to the stories it tells," it advised. And so we listened, allowing ourselves to be swept into the tide of history. The voices coalesced around us, forming a tapestry of events that wove together in an intricate web. Moments of power and change, decisions that had shaped the course of countless lives. In the heart of this symphony, I sensed a familiar note, a melody interwoven with the rest but distinct in its resonance. It was the same energy that had drawn us deeper into the nexus, the source of the disruption that had unsettled the forge. There, amidst the echoes, I saw its form, a shadowed presence moving against the current of history, manipulating threads for its own design. A remnant of the past or an intruder from beyond, its purpose was unclear, but its impact was undeniable. Valses regarded the shadow with an air of contemplation, its voice a gentle cadence. "There are those who seek to bend the nexus to their will," it intoned, "to impose their own narratives upon the tapestry." The realization sent a shiver through me, a reminder that the balance of the nexus was fragile, its harmony easily disrupted by those who sought to control it. "Looks like we've found our culprit," Ewan said, his voice sharp with resolve. "What do we do about it?" "We must confront it," I replied, feeling the weight of the decision settle over me, "before it tears the nexus apart." With Etter and Valses as our guides, and Thalathon and Ewan at my side, we prepared to face the shadowed presence that threatened the harmony of the nexus. It was a journey fraught with uncertainty, but also with the promise of revelation and redemption. As we stepped forward, the echo of our footsteps mingling with the whispers of the tea and present, I felt a sense of purpose settle within me. We were not merely explorers of the Nexus. We were its protectors, guardians of the delicate balance that held the universe together. Together, we moved into the heart of the shadows, ready to confront the forces that sought to unravel the tapestry of existence, determined to preserve the harmony of the forge and the myriad stories it held within. Part 8: Guardians of the Nexus. The Chamber of Echoes thrummed with a resonance that seemed to stretch through the dimensions, a living entity in its own right, alive with the stories of those who had crossed its threshold. We had stepped into its heart, where shadows and light danced an intricate symphony, guided by the unseen hand of time. Eder, our luminous guide, moved with a confidence that belied the uncertainty of what lay ahead. Its crystalline form shimmered with ethereal light, a beacon in the ethereal gloom that surrounded us. "The presence we seek is here," it intoned, its voice a gentle melody that cut through the clamor of the past. "It seeks to bend the Nexus to its own will." Ewan shifted beside me, his gaze sweeping the chamber as if searching for the source of the disturbance. "So, are we talking about some kind of ghost or something with more teeth?" he quipped, his humor underscored by a tension that hummed beneath his skin. "Whatever it is, we have to stop it," I replied, determination setting my jaw. "The Nexus is a living tapestry, and it's our job to protect it." Thalathun, ever poised, nodded its agreement, its gaze fixed on a point beyond the visible. "The balance of the Nexus must be preserved," it echoed, its voice a steady reminder of our shared purpose. Before us, the shadows seemed to ripple, a disturbance at the edge of perception that hinted at the presence lurking within. It was an entity forged from the nexus of past and potential, a paradox given form. Valses, keeper of the forge, regarded the disturbance with an air of solemn wisdom. "The Nexus is its own guardian," it mused, "but even it cannot withstand the ambition of those who seek to reshape its truths." The words were a reminder of the responsibility that lay upon our shoulders. The Nexus was a mirror, reflecting the intentions of those who gazed within its depths. To protect it was to protect the essence of possibility itself. As we stepped closer, the shadows coalesced, forming a shape that flickered between solidity and abstraction. It was a being of contradictions, its presence both tangible and ephemeral, a fragment caught between reality and imagination. The entity's gaze fixed upon us, a thousand eyes gleaming with an intelligence that seemed to pierce through the layers of time. "You seek to defy the inevitable," it whispered, its voice a chorus of echoes that reverberated in the chamber. "The Nexus is mine to shape." A shiver danced down my spine, the words a chilling reminder of the power this presence held. Yet I felt no fear, only resolve. We were not mere actors in this cosmic play, we were its stewards. Eder's form glowed with a serene luminescence, its presence a shield against the entity's influence. "The Nexus belongs to all who seek its truths," it responded, its voice a counterpoint of harmony. "You cannot claim what was never yours." The entity's laughter was a ripple through the air, a dark melody entwined with the echoes of history. "We shall see," it murmured, a challenge woven into its words. With a flick of its form, the entity summoned a wave of energy, a distortion that rippled through the chamber, refracting the light into a kaleidoscope of color and shadow. The air crackled with raw potential, the very fabric of the Nexus trembling with its power. Ewan reacted swiftly, his instincts honed by years of navigating the unpredictable. "Brace yourselves," he shouted, his voice cutting through the din as he sought cover behind a pillar of light. I moved instinctively, focusing my thoughts with an intensity that matched the churning storm. The Nexus responded to intent, and I was determined to harness that truth, to use it as a weapon against the chaos that sought to unravel it. Thalathun's form blurred, a graceful dodge that carried it out of harm's way. "We must protect the integrity of the forge," it called, its voice a steadying force amidst the turbulence. Valses stood firm, a sentinel amidst the maelstrom, its presence a reminder of the Nexus's resilience. "The Nexus endures," it declared, its voice a clarion call that resonated within our hearts. Together, we formed a united front, our intentions aligned as we faced the entity with a resolve born of necessity. It was a battle of wills, a clash of philosophies that played out within the swirling dance of light and shadow. The entity's form flickered and faltered, its power challenged by the strength of our combined purpose. In that moment, I felt the Nexus respond, its energies converging around us, a protective cocoon that shielded us from harm. Etter's crystalline light flared, a beacon that cut through the darkness. "The Nexus is not yours to control," it proclaimed, its voice a harmonious chorus that echoed through the chamber. "It belongs to all who seek its truths." The entity wavered, a flicker of uncertainty passing through its myriad eyes. The balance had shifted, the echoes of our intentions resonating with the power of the Nexus itself. As the energy subsided, the entity's form began to dissolve, the shadows retreating as its influence faded. It was a reminder that the Nexus was a place of balance, where ambition alone could not sway the path of destiny. In the aftermath, the chamber fell silent, the echoes of the past fading into a gentle hum. The disturbance had been quelled, the harmony restored, and the Nexus once again a place of possibility and promise. Ewan exhaled a breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding, his gaze meeting mine with a mixture of relief and triumph. "Well, that was something," he said, his voice a blend of humor and exhaustion. "Guess we showed it what we're made of." Thalathun inclined its head, a gesture of respect and camaraderie. "The Nexus is safe for now," it affirmed, its voice a reminder of the work that lay ahead. Valses regarded us with a gaze imbued with gratitude and understanding. "You have proven yourselves guardians of the Nexus," it declared, its voice a gentle benediction. "Its secrets are yours to explore, its stories yours to tell." With a sense of purpose renewed, we stood together in the chamber, the echoes of our journey a testament to the power of unity and intention. The path ahead was uncertain, but filled with the promise of discovery and understanding. As we prepared to leave the Chamber of Echoes, a warmth suffused the air, a gentle reminder that the Nexus was a place of infinite possibility. Together, we would continue our journey, guardians of the stories that lay within its depths, ready to face whatever challenges the universe had in store. Part 9: The Harmonium of Realities. Leaving the Chamber of Echoes felt like emerging from beneath an ocean's surface, the air lighter, the weight of history now a whisper behind us. Yet the Nexus, with its infinite complexities and layers, still held mysteries entangled within the very fabric of existence. It called out with a paradoxical allure, welcoming yet esoteric, enticing us to delve deeper. Etter led the way, its crystalline form resonating with the cadence of the Nexus. "We have quelled one disturbance," it stated, a sense of accomplishment in its harmonious tone. Yet the Nexus whispers of further dissonance. Ewan trudged beside me, his usual levity returning with the fading echoes. "Let's hope these dissonances have a softer touch," he mused, wiping his brow, though a spark of curiosity never waned in his eyes. Thalathun's gaze swept the horizon, ever watchful and contemplative. "The Nexus is an orchestra," it observed, "each strand of reality a note in the cosmic symphony. To maintain harmony is to embrace both discord and concord." As we continued, the landscape around us shifted once more, transitioning into a realm of interwoven paths that stretched out like the threads of a celestial loom. A soft luminescence illuminated our way, imbuing the atmosphere with an ethereal glow. Valses guided us toward a grand construct nestled amidst the glistening paths. "This is the harmonium," it announced, an awe threading its melodic voice. "A convergence of realities where the symphony of the Nexus sings." The harmonium was a marvel of cosmic architecture, its structure a dance of light and shadow, form and void. It seemed to pulse with a living rhythm, its walls echoing with the hum of 1,000 interwoven realities. Stepping inside, I was enveloped by the vibrant resonance that permeated the air. It was a symphony rendered as architecture, the very structure a conduit for the music of existence itself. Ewan gazed around, his expression a mixture of wonder and disbelief. "It's like being inside a song," he said, awe softening his words. "I didn't know something like this could even exist." "There is more here than meets the senses," Eder replied, its voice a harmonious reflection of the harmonium's symphony. "Here, the Nexus reveals the interconnectedness of all things." The chamber was alive with the interplay of realities, each strand contributing to the overarching melody. It was a reminder of the vastness of the universe and the intricate weave of lives and choices that formed its tapestry. As we moved through the harmonium, I felt a growing sense of connection, a bond that transcended time and space. It was as if the essence of every decision, every path, resonated within my very being. Thalathun paused beside a luminous nexus point, its form cast in the iridescent glow. "The Nexus acknowledges our journey," it noted, its voice a gentle murmur. "Here, the tapestry converges, past and present mingling with future." In that moment, a series of visions unfolded before us, glimpses of worlds yet unborn, possibilities shimmering like morning dew upon a spider's web. Choices we had made, and those we had yet to make, woven into the symphony of the Nexus. Valses regarded the visions with an air of reverence, its presence a still point amidst the symphonic maelstrom. "The harmonium is a reflection of potential," it explained. "A reminder that each action sends ripples through the fabric of reality." It was a humbling revelation, the knowledge that our journey was but one thread in a complex, universal weave. Yet within that complexity lay a beauty beyond comprehension, a reminder of the interconnectedness at the heart of existence. As the visions faded, a new sound emerged from within the harmonium, a discordant note that broke through the harmonious symphony, a jarring dissonance that set my teeth on edge. Ewan glanced at me, his eyes narrowing with concern. "That can't be good," he remarked, a twitch of anxiety in his tone. "No, it isn't," I replied, feeling the weight of the disturbance settle over us. "We need to find the source before it disrupts the entire structure." Eder's form glowed with renewed purpose, its crystalline facets refracting the light into a kaleidoscope of colors. "The Nexus responds to intention," it reminded us, its voice a steadying force. "Our harmony will guide us." With Valses and Thalathun at our side, and Ewan's unwavering spirit bolstering our resolve, we navigated the harmonium, following the trail of dissonance that threatened its equilibrium. The path led us to a chamber at the heart of the structure, where the source of the disturbance lay. It was a tear in the fabric of the Nexus, a rift through which chaos spilled like ink into water, its jagged edges crackling with raw energy. Valses regarded the rift with a solemn gaze, its presence a beacon of stability. "This fracture threatens the balance," it said, its voice a somber cadence. "We must mend it or risk unraveling the symphony." Thalathon moved forward, its form a study in grace and determination. "Together," it declared, its voice a promise, "we shall restore what has been broken." Ewan and I joined them, our intentions aligning as we focused on the rift, channeling the harmonious energies of the harmonium to weave the torn threads back together. The process was intricate, a delicate dance of will and possibility. As we worked, I felt the energies of the nexus respond, the melody of the harmonium growing stronger as the fracture began to heal. Etter's light flared, a radiant sentinel against the chaos. "The nexus endures," it proclaimed, its voice a testament to unity. "It is resilient and enduring." The rift sealed with a final, resounding note, its discordant presence fading into the harmonious chorus of the harmonium. The balance was restored, the symphony once again whole. In the aftermath, we stood together, our faces illuminated by the gentle glow of the harmonium. It was a moment of triumph and reflection, a reminder of the power of unity and the importance of maintaining the balance within the nexus. As we prepared to leave the harmonium, I felt a renewed sense of purpose. Our journey was far from over, but the experiences we had shared, the challenges we had overcome together, had forged bonds unbreakable. With Etter, Thalathon, Valses, and Ewan by my side, we set forth once more, ready to embrace the infinite possibilities of the nexus, guardians of its symphony, bound by the harmony of our shared journey. Part 10: The Silent Symphony. The Helios sailed onward, leaving behind the vibrant resonance of the harmonium, its engines a comforting thrum against the backdrop of the nexus. As we ventured deeper, the kaleidoscope of potentialities that define this place continued to unfold, each moment a step closer to understanding the vast, enigmatic universe that cradled us. Etter, ever our luminous guide, moved silently beside the console, its crystalline form casting fractal shadows across the cabin. "The nexus sings in silence," it mused, its voice a gentle chime within my thoughts. "Listen closely, and you may hear its hidden notes." Ewan leaned back in his chair, a thoughtful expression playing on his face. "Silent music, eh? Sounds like the perfect tune for a mystery," he remarked, his humor a familiar balm against the unknown. Thalathon's eyes were fixed on the star-studded tapestry outside, its focus intense and unwavering. "The nexus is a realm of layers," it observed, its voice filled with the weight of contemplation. "Beyond its surface lies the heart of its secrets." We had come to understand the nexus as a place of possibility, a convergence of realities ripe with potential and challenge. Yet it was clear there was more here than met the eye, depths and subtleties that eluded us still. As we navigated further into the nexus, a subtle shifting in the air caught my attention, an almost imperceptible change in the atmosphere that made the hairs on my neck stand on end. "What's that?" Ewan asked, his gaze scanning the controls for any sign of anomaly. "Feels like the air's holding its breath." "I feel it too," I replied, my senses on high alert. "Etter, do you sense anything?" "The nexus is in flux," Etter responded, its tone laced with intrigue. "There is an element at play, a presence that defies its harmony." It was then that we saw it, a faint glow in the distance, a beacon of light that pulsed with a rhythm all its own. Drawn by curiosity, we steered the Helios toward it, an unspoken understanding linking us in purpose. The light resolved into a structure unlike any we had encountered, a crystalline edifice that shimmered with an internal luminescence, its design both alien and inviting. It floated serenely in the void, as if untouched by time or space. "The archive of shadows," Valses intoned, its voice a soft echo of the past. "A place where the shadows of the Nexus gather, a repository of truths often left unseen." The very name sent a thrill through me, an archive, not of words but of shadows, of the silent symphony that played beneath the surface of reality. Here, perhaps, lay the answers to the enigma of the Nexus. Docking the Helios, we stepped out into the structure, our steps echoing softly in the crystalline halls. The air was cool and filled with a soft, resonant hum, as if the structure itself was alive with the whispers of history. As we delved deeper, I felt a presence surrounding us, a silent chorus that seemed to vibrate just beyond hearing. It was a sensation like no other, as if the shadows themselves were sentient, observing and recording our journey. Ewan shivered, rubbing his arms as if to banish a chill. "This place is something else," he muttered. "It's like walking through a dream you half remember." "The archive captures the essence of forgotten truths," Eder explained, its voice a melodic accompaniment to the silent hum. "Here, the shadows of the past and future intertwine." Thalathun moved with a purposeful grace, its gaze reflecting the myriad facets of the crystalline walls. "To understand the Nexus, we must listen to its quieter notes," it said, its voice a gentle reminder. In the heart of the archive, we found a chamber filled with luminescent orbs, each hovering gently above its own pedestal. They pulsed with a rhythmic glow, the shadows swirling inside like ink suspended in water. Valses gestured to the orbs, its presence a steadying force. "These are the echoes of the unseen," it explained. "Each holds a fragment of the Nexus's silent symphony." Drawn to the orbs, I reached out, my hand hovering above the surface of one. At my touch, it flared with light, a cascade of images and sensations flooding my senses. I saw worlds in twilight, moments caught in the space between certainty and possibility. I felt the echo of decisions not taken, paths not chosen, resonating within the silent spaces between realities. Ewan's eyes were wide with wonder as he too reached for an orb, his expression one of awe and contemplation. "These shadows, they're stories, aren't they?" he asked, his voice hushed with reverence. "Stories waiting to be heard," Eder confirmed, its light a beacon against the shadows. "The Nexus's silent symphony." Yet even as we explored the archive's depths, a sense of urgency built within me. The silent music hinted at a deeper truth, a revelation that lay beyond the surface of perception. Together we listened, allowing ourselves ease to be drawn into the silent symphony of the Nexus, the silent chorus guiding us toward an understanding that transcended words. In the stillness, the shadows spoke, their voices a harmony woven from the essence of existence. It was a reminder of the balance that held the Nexus together, the intricate dance of light and shadow that defined the universe. As we prepared to leave the archive, I felt a sense of clarity and purpose settle over me. We had glimpsed the silent truths that lay beyond the visible, and with that knowledge came a renewed commitment to our journey. With Eder, Thalathun, Valses, and Ewan by my side, we stepped back into the vast expanse of the Nexus, the silent symphony of shadows a guiding light as we continued to explore the infinite possibilities of the universe. Together, we were guardians of its harmony, bound by the silent music that connected us all.